122 to 115, the final, as we welcome you to the Brooklyn Nets post-game show. Ryan Ruocco with you, live from Barclays Center, joined by Richard Jefferson, who is at his home in Los Angeles. Richard, Harden, Durant, we know it's a stars league, and wow, was their performance special tonight. What stood out most to you about the win in Harden's debut?
Congratulations, Nets fans. Congratulations. You don't know how long these moments last. You don't know when they come and when they go. But what stood out to me is that this team, when healthy, is going to be a problem. Now, do they have every single thing that is needed in order to be considered, you know, the favorite or a team that's guaranteed to go to the finals? No, they have work to do. But, boy, when I tell you that the entire league looking around seeing James Harden all of a sudden wake up and get 14 assists in his debut, to see Kevin Durant go for 42. And this is what I like. Kevin Durant is a scorer. Kyrie Irving, even though he is a point guard, is also a scorer. But what you know with James Harden is that he has led the league in assists. So he knows how to get himself involved. He knows how to get some teammates involved. So when everyone's talking about, okay, well, who's going to handle the ball? Who's going to do this? I think James Harden really running that point and allowing Kyrie and KD to be just dominant scorers and him being the person that kind of navigates his game, I think that could be a real problem.
Well, I mean, no question about it. And, Richard, I think that was one of the things that stood out most, right? First few possessions out of the gate, Harden was all about distributing, you know, breaking down his performance tonight as we take a look, Richard, what you see from James Harden.
Well, again, that's what I was looking at. I was looking at, I said the role players, and I love what Joe Harris did. I love seeing Bruce Brown, that play late in the game where it was Harden to Durant. Then all of a sudden, Durant makes the right play and throws it to a wide-open Bruce Brown. Those are the guys that have to knock down shots when you look at championship teams. It's the Bruce Brown. It's the Joe Harris, because you know the stars are going to get attention. And with James Harden, Kyrie, these are guys that entire defenses, a team spends their entire practice and focus, how do we stop James Harden? How do we stop Kevin Durant? When they were on individual teams, now you have all three of them on the same team. It's going to be nearly impossible. They are going to be getting more single coverage than they have ever had. For Kevin Durant, a guy that played with the Splash Brothers, now all of a sudden he's got the very, very similar spacing because you have so many quality players. And James Harden, again, it just goes down to his assists. His assists are the things that are going to make this team run.
Well, 32 points, 14 assists, 12 rebounds. You add in 4 steals as well. Did have 9 turnovers. And I like that that was one of the first things he brought up to Michael Grady in his post-game interview, saying, I got to clean up the turnovers. But, Richard, I think what was so striking, and we've already talked about it some, was, you know, people have seen James Harden play a certain way in Houston over the last couple of years. And so there have been conversations about, dribbling the air out of the basketball, how they're going to continue to get everyone involved. But these players wanted this, which obviously shows their inclination to want to do whatever they have to win. And James Harden has shown that ability to play make, and it's not just that he has the skills to do it, Richard. There's the buy-in now to not play the way he was in Houston and to access more of those playmaking abilities, and we saw that already in Game 1.
Ryan, I 100% agree with you. What you have to do is you have to look around the league sometimes. And James Harden has led the league in assists. And then as his team and the dynamic of his team started to change, he then started to be like, okay, well, I'm going to go and average 34 points a game. Look at a guy like LeBron James. You add Anthony Davis on his team, and what does he do? Just at 10 a game. I really think that James Harden, even though we're in the very beginning of the season, could lead the league in assists if he chooses to play that way. And so when you ask James, like, James, what is your goal? Sometimes it's to be the leading scorer. Sometimes it's to be the MVP. These guys that are on this tier, when you talk about Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving and James Harden and LeBron James, they can adjust their game. It's all a matter about what they want to do on the basketball floor. So if you tell James, like, James, we need you to average 25 and 10, or we need to average 26 and 11, he can go and do that, and pretty much with ease, especially with the arsenal around him. So I think this was a quick message to everyone on this team, everyone in this league, league that, look, they're going to be able to move the ball. They're going to be able to score. The next step that we're going to be talking about is how do they play that high-level team defense that's going to be needed when you're talking about the postseason.
You know, Richard, during the game, I thought Sarah had a very poignant and simultaneously funny remark when she said, it feels like Kevin Durant is a veteran here now with all the attention on James Harden, the newcomer, and it sort of does, but you watch the performance tonight and you realize
Harden in his debut, his first game with the team, and how he looked.
Man, it was incredible. You could see him trying to figure out the best way to play early on. I felt like we all were overpassing, trying to make everybody comfortable, and then he just got into his mode of, being aggressive to score, and that opened up the whole game for all of us. So, glad he got his feet up under him, and he's got to keep plugging away, keep getting better each day.
Was there an increase? I know he's new, and of course you're going to do a lot of talking there, but kind of increased communication across the board with the team so that you guys are locked in at the task at hand? Yeah,
I mean, you got James, myself, Jeff, DJ out there, Joe, guys who've been in the league for a while. I think all of us, on the same page and communicating what we need from each other on the defensive side of the ball, especially on offense. I think we were moving and flowing a little bit on offense, based off our communication. We didn't have a play coming across half and guys were talking guys through actions, and same on the defensive side of the ball. So we're only going to get better at that, and it's going to take some time for us to build up that consistency of, how we want to play on both ends, but, it was a good step.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
KD, during his introductory press conference, James was asked what part of his game he needed to improve or emphasize or whatever. He said playmaking. And he in Houston, he kind of pounded the ball. But tonight, he moved the ball. And there were moments where when you and he and Harris were moving the ball, the defense was paralyzed. What do you think this kind of debut does for him? What message does it send in terms of sacrifice and how he's willing to play and yet be able to still step up and score?
Yeah, I mean, James, he played the same way he always played, to be honest. I mean, he played the same way he was playing in Houston, handling the basketball, being a pass-first guard, trying to get his guys good looks. He played the same way. And, Coach put him at the point. I think that's his natural position, to be honest, his point and, off guard, combo guard. And, for him to come out and get 14 assists, 12 rebounds for us at the point guard was key.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Stephen, you and James have, 7 scoring titles between you, and Kai probably hit the most iconic shot in the last 10 years. I mean, when you have 3 guys that are so accustomed to leading teams, getting late buckets, big shots, what's the biggest key to making sure that all 3 of you can be as good or as dominant as you're accustomed to being, but still keep the main thing?
Well, understand there's more than just us 3 on this basketball team. We're going to need Joe Harris to continue to knock down shots, TLC. We'll need DeAndre to roll to the rim hard, and our bigs to come in and help set screens and rebound. And so I think it's a group effort, and that's going to, open up the floor for all of us. And, it's having high IQ guys who are unselfish, who, want to make the extra passes. We'll see how it plays out. Each game is different. I think we want to approach each game with that attitude of just all of us being who we are and being aggressive, but, being on one string. And, we'll see how it goes.
Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Hey, Kevin, obviously you and James have kept in touch and worked out together over the years, but it's been a while since you two were in an official NBA game together. Does the rapport you two have with each other kind of translate pretty quickly, given your ties, or did it take a couple of sessions for that to really get into full swing?
No, I mean, like I said, having veteran guys and being in the league for so long, you didn't worked on so many different schemes and offensive actions. You kind of know how to play the game. And, it's not just me and James. Jeff's the same way. DJ's the same way. Kyrie's the same way. Guys that have been in the league for almost 10-plus years where, we could just sometimes we don't even have to speak to know what we're thinking. And guys are, just understand each other. And we've been studying each other for so long, scouting each other for so long. So that IQ is just there. It's only going to get better.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Hey, Kevin, you had 42 tonight. At what point did you feel like, yeah, all right, I've got this. I've found my rhythm here after getting off to a little bit of an up and down start really early on?
Yeah, I mean, missing shots I felt like I got to my spots. You know, I think it was a matter of time before I started to knock them down, and I got some great screens.